Welcome to Mike and the Hoss on Wolfeboro Community Television. I'm Mike Danais.
And I'm Charlie Hossack.
So, Coach, episode 5.
Yes.
Of our social distance season.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think you need to know that. I think you just look at our faces and you can see that we are deep into this.
We are. I am, are you? I'm just going to go until we're free again, I think, with the beard.
Geez, I've heard like the fall.
So, well,
I don't know when the weather gets warm. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep mine. It might be an event though, cutting this thing, because I don't know if I've ever had this much on there. I'm not really a full beard kind of guy. I'm more of a scruff.
Right.
But it's a good indicator that we're roughing it.
Yeah. As much as we're roughing it. So
I'm not talking Survivor roughing it. I'm just saying.
I was gonna say I don't even like camping, so this is I had to throw. I don't wear hats, as you know. So I did throw this on. I wear this if I'm coaching out in the sun, but I'm not really a hat guy. But my hair is I don't have much, as you know, but it's totally out of control. So we may go with different hats each week.
This thing, I've been wearing this for a couple days now because my wife said I had this Belichick thing going on, and I had hair flopped over one side and hair going the other way. And I don't have a lot of hair either. Mine kind of thins a little bit too, but which really bad when there's a lot there because it just kind of lays bad. Many
directions. So, now, is that an actual ball cap or you're wearing a beanie?
I'm wearing it.
Oh, I see it. Okay. That's
good. Our producer, wants me to not have the lid in front because the eye light, the height, the light.
He didn't say that about me. It's probably because I got a bigger forehead.
Well, you have a production crew over there, so
I do have a production crew. So thanks to Michelle, she came in and kind of saved the day.
So let's talk about the show a little bit today. We're going to be here for an hour, and we're going to talk about athletes of the week.
Yep.
Which we're starting to do with I get actually a nice write up from the high school this time. COVID update as far as what's going on with the major sports. There's been a little bit of movement that we could talk about, not a lot. And then at 3:15, Chrissy Livy is coming on. And for those that don't know Chrissy, she is the cheer coach at the high school, but she also owns Expressions Dance Academy.
She does, yeah.
And so we're going to talk to her about the cheer team at school. We talk about all the other sports teams at school. And we really, not that we ignored cheer, but we hadn't had cheer on our show.
Right.
And so it was kind of an opportunity to have her on. She's very excited to come on and also to talk a little bit about Expression and how she's dealing with COVID. And she's doing remote dance classes and how that's going.
That's good. And this year also, we were able to, at least this year with the football games, we did highlight the cheer team, at least for the football program. So we got to see them in the fall. We didn't get a chance to see them in the winter, but it'll be fun to talk about.
Yep. And one of Chrissy's alumni is my daughter, Emma, and she's going to stick her head over my shoulder just because she danced in college. And this is her senior year, and so her dance career is over, but she was able to dance at UNH. And she's going to talk about how that transition went from high school, from Expressions to dance at college, and that'll be quick. And then we have a special caller calling in to discuss a particular Patriots trade.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
And he and I are
the title of top fan.
He's our top fan.
Top fan, yeah.
He has definitely taken the lead in calls into our show.
Yeah.
And at 2. So he's pretty excited to come on and vent a little bit.
Good.
So
good to hear your perspective.
That's our show, and I think we kind of get the full hour. So let's get started with athlete of the week.
Okay.
Just drag this over. So the female athlete of the week is Maddie Ward. Maddie was nominated by Coach Merrill. Maddie was presumably the #1 girls tennis player for Kingswood this year. She participates in the Teen Master Tennis Program during the off-season to prepare for the spring. It would have been a force to reckon with on the court. So amazing dedication, Maddie. So congratulations, Maddie. But also, sorry, Maddie, for losing this season because obviously tennis is your sport. So. But congratulations on that recognition. The male athlete is a senior that we know very well, Charlie. It is Matt Place. And Matt was nominated by Coach Skelly. And Coach Skelly shared that as a senior, Matt has been the glue and the main communicator for the last 6 months for the baseball team. Matt has also always been a great supporter of all Kingswood during his 40 years at KRHS. So great job, Matt.
Yeah. Congratulations, Maddie and Matt.
Yeah, and I'll speak about Matt for a second because we've had his dad on, Coach Place, the basketball coach, on a few times, and the school spirit that Matt shows during in every single sport. If he can get there, he's there, and he leads all the cheering. We witnessed it firsthand at the football games.
Yeah, the Squire squad. He's like the head of the Squire squad. Yep.
And he did that in all the sports, and he's very passionate about what he's doing. So I congratulate Matt. And again, Matt, sorry about your senior baseball season.
Yeah.
We can't express enough how that's such a drag. Hopefully, if you're still playing baseball, hopefully this summer will work out for you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna segue it right into spring and summer ball. There's been a lot of first of all, we are out of school for the rest of the year. That is official.
Yeah, that's the news that we received. Yeah.
NHIA has also said that there's no spring sports season.
Right.
In that it's not happening in the summer. There is no spring sports season, which is obviously very disappointing for all those senior athletes. Not just the senior athletes, especially for the senior athletes, but all the other kids too.
All the athletes, yes.
Yeah. There has been a lot of movement. We'll talk baseball for a second because I'm sure softball is doing something similar. That there's a lot of high school centered development programs that seem to be popping up in the state. If we can get on fields,
right?
That is something that is still a big if. We don't know if the school is going to let anybody on their fields this summer.
Right. I hope they'll do the right thing, and if the stay-at-home order has been lifted, that it'll allow the athletes to get out there and play sports.
I hope so. I really do. It's these kids are cooped up. I know they're doing workouts and they're doing exercises and all that kind of stuff, but when they get to high school, for a lot of these guys, high school's it. That's the end of the road, and they're missing 1/4 of their high school season, their spring seasons, and so it's pretty upsetting. And hopefully, a lot of things can come together for this summer or the fall or whatever to make up for some of these spring programs.
I hope so. I want to just we didn't talk about this, but I want to give a shout out, at least here in Wolfeboro, to the Nick, because the Nick has kept their fields open, which has been great. It's been an opportunity for my own kids to go over and grab a workout. So that's been good for them to be able to continue to do that. And that's kind of a sense of normalcy. I mean, you're still, abiding by the stay 6 feet away, the social distancing and all that stuff. But, if you're doing long toss or if you're throwing a lacrosse ball, it's easy to maintain that distance with a small group, couple kids. So it's nice to be able to go over there.
I drove by there. I think it was yesterday or Monday. One of these days it was pretty nice out, and it was pretty busy.
Yeah,
but nobody was next to each other. It was amazing. I mean, everybody was really respecting the social distancing thing, but it was every field had a couple people on it.
Yeah,
and it was just good. I don't want to get into which side of the social distancing thing and opening the economy back up, side we're on, but people are respecting it. At least in Wolfeboro, for the most part, people are respecting it, and it's good to see.
Right.
Hopefully the schools and the towns open up their fields too.
I hope so. Yeah, and I think it's going to be obviously a few more weeks, and then hopefully things will start to settle down, and we can start to, at least for us, we'd love to be able to start coaching again and having our kids, start playing sports again.
Yep. Okay. COVID update. We just talked about spring, summer ball. Golf. Last week was the Masters.
Yeah.
They put it into the fall. They actually put it into the fall. I think it's going to be really interesting because the National, where they play the Masters, plays a certain way in the spring, and they play a completely different way in the fall. And they've never played it in the fall before. So I think we're going to see features. I mean, again, hopefully golf is happening, but I think golf would probably be one of the first sports that would probably get up, whether they allow fans or not to come in.
Yeah.
So that's something that's exciting for the golf fan. The NFL's draft is tomorrow night.
Yes.
So their off season as far as hype and hoopla is going pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
There's again, there's been talk. He was saying that there's been talk that part of the NFL season next year might be played without fans.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, we had talked a little bit about that with baseball. That I think I'm still at a point now that any sports for us to be able to watch is what I want to be able to do. I don't need to be there, and we don't need to have fans there. I just would like to see the athletes play the games that I have something to cheer for. Some form of entertainment. So I'm okay with that. I mean, I know it's all about the money, but I'm not an NFL owner. So for me, it's all about the entertainment piece.
Well, better than nothing. That's how I'm looking at it. It's better than nothing. MLB, there's a lot of stuff kicking around about MLB about what their strategies are. They seem to be, refocusing on the Arizona thing. Mm-hmm. But that's a big undertaking to put 32 teams. I don't know how many baseball teams there are. 30 teams.
30 teams, and to put them in hotels and
testing, playing games, testing, back to the hotel. If you were a baseball player, if you were a professional baseball player, how would you feel about that?
I mean, if that's my passion and what I do for a living, I'd want to play.
Okay, I'm the same way. I mean, I want to play. If he had a chance to play, I want to play. I want to play now.
Yeah.
If we were able to have practice right now, without the police stopping us and breaking it up, I would have practice.
I would leave the show right now if we could go practice. I'm ready.
There's been some hubbub in the NHL about, there's kind of pushing August. They're looking at August as maybe having the playoffs around then. But now the question is, how long do they need before they get out there? That's been a little bit of talk, and what's reasonable, and maybe because hockey is so physical that they need a little bit more time to get themselves back and ready. They're also not skating.
Right.
Basketball player, we'll talk about NBA in a second, but they're on their home courts.
Yeah.
They're playing. They're playing. They can dribble the ball. They can shoot the ball. They can do whatever.
Right. And baseball can do the same thing. They can, they have their own batting cages and pitching and all that. So. Did
you see Joe Kelly? The Joe Kelly video?
I was just thinking that was fantastic. Yeah. Target was huge.
Well, he just installed, for those that don't know, Joe Kelly was the Red Sox pitcher when they won the World Series. He moved on to Los Angeles, and he set up a big pitching net in his yard. And it was probably 12 feet wide, 12 feet high. And the first pitch, he sailed right through the window of his house.
Landed on his bed in his bedroom.
The major league pitcher.
Yeah.
His face when he did it was like he was like 8 years old who just broke his parents' window too. That was good stuff. Anyway, so and then the NBA. I think the NBA is. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the NBA start sooner than the NHL, just for those reasons that we talked about. My dog's here. Just to make sure that they're going, and it seems like that's a quicker start.
Yeah. So I think
gossip here. There's a little gossip. You want some Wolfeboro gossip?
Wolfeboro gossip, sure.
Yeah. So Dwayne Wade's son is apparently coming to Brewster.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
You know that one? No, sorry. I thought it was breaking news on Mike and the Hoss.
Well, sure, yeah. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. No, yeah, I did see that yesterday. That's exciting.
It is, because Dwayne Wade's son played with LeBron James' son, Bronny.
That's right.
Recently, so maybe we see LeBron in town or Dwayne Wade in town.
Well,
kind of cool.
Maybe Mike and the Hoss, if LeBron's in town, Mike and the Hoss might have to go there and heckle him a little bit.
Absolutely,
LeBron. So
absolutely, we'll definitely do that. So in a couple minutes, Chrissy Livy's going to be joining us. And anything you want to talk with Chrissy about, Charlie?
No, I just one of the things I'm just interested in, really how she got started with her business, Expressions Dance Academy, and she ended up settling here, and just kind of get her story. I'd like to find out about that.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably focus on that, and then how she got involved with the cheer team at school.
Yeah,
it's obviously it's a natural segue between the dance company and the cheer team. Now, here's a question for you: is it the cheer team or the spirit team, or is that two different teams?
I I feel like it's two different teams, but I feel like she's in charge of both. Maybe we should ask her.
That's a good idea.
I'm sure there's a difference that we don't know. I do have a favorite cheerleader, and I think you might as well. Here's a little trivia question. Did you know that Coach McCullough, Tom McCullough, was a cheerleader in college?
Oh, I am so happy you told me that.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. And he did that in college. And if you don't know who Mr. McCullough is, he's a football coach. Loves football, passionate about football, was a heck of a football player, but got injured in football, so couldn't continue his football career in college. But he was able to become a cheer member. I don't know what the title would be, but he was the guy that would throw cheerleaders in the air and catch them because he was, built like a Mack truck, super strong.
That's really cool. And Coach McCullough bleeds Kingswood green, so he is when he's coaching, he's cheering.
He is.
Hit somebody, and
yeah.
It's just it's awesome to see. So
good guy.
All right. Well, so far we're undefeated as far as people joining our show relatively on time. We're going to see. It's 3:15 now, so we're going to see how.
Yeah, she can get in. I'm sure she'll be with us soon.
Well, I don't want to ruin our streak.
I know. True.
I'm Chrissy. You there?
There she is.
Hi, Chrissy. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
All right. We were just talking about that. We're undefeated right now with guests, all showing up at the right time and doing very well with this remote learning. So congratulations.
Thank you. That's incredible.
First of all, how are you guys doing? How's family staying safe?
Yeah, we're staying safe, staying home, social distancing, doing what we can. I'm feeling very lucky to live in New Hampshire during this time.
I agree.
Yeah.
We said that to our wives a few times that, the city seems really good at times, but right now, rural New Hampshire looking pretty good.
Right, exactly. Yep. I'm definitely love cities, but today it's all good.
Awesome. I know that Mike and I have been talking about this prior to you coming on, and one of the things that we want to do, Christy, is we kind of want to hear your story about how you opened up Expressions Dance Studio Academy, and then how you ended up at Kingswood. But the burning question for us right now is, what is the difference between the cheer team and the spirit team, or are they one and the same?
They're one and the same. Yep. So, growing up, we were always called the cheerleading team, but I think it's the NHIAA that has recoined the term spirit team.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it just kind of comes out spirit team sometimes and kind of comes out cheerleading team others, but yeah, one and the same for sure.
All right. So Christy, let's start with how you got involved with this. How do you call it spirit team, or do you call it cheer team? What do you refer to as? I
call it the cheerleading team. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go with that, because you are officially for the cheerleading team now. So how did that all come about with your involvement?
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because I had called the athletic director, Aaron House, to get an exhibition for my dancers at one of the football games. And he just said, do you know anybody who knows, how to cheer, or anybody that knows how to, run this cheerleading team? I don't have a coach. And I said, oh, geez. I said, I do, except I don't really have the time. I have 3 young boys and I'm running the dance studio at night. I don't know how I would fit that all in. And we just, he kind of kept talking to me, and I realized, all right, I think I can do this. And I cheered actually probably 5 to 7 days a week growing up. Down in Massachusetts is where I grew up, and it was kind of a way of life for me. It's just what I did. It was my main activity. I loved it. It brought me so much joy as a kid. We competed in South Carolina as young as middle school. So we were really into it. We'd come in, first place, first runner up. We'd do 6 or 7 competitions a year. I actually didn't even dance much growing up because I was so busy with cheerleading. So I thought, all right, it would be great to kind of pass on my knowledge to the town and the community. So I said yes, and then there we go. That's me. Here I am.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so so when we talk your cheer team, it's 3 seasons, right? Or is it 2 seasons?
2 seasons, fall and winter.
Okay. And which sport do you tend to like? Is it equally spread, or do you tend to be focused more on one than the other?
We focus as coaches on both. I should probably mention I have another coach, Monica Mosca. She came on in 2017, and she cheered right up through college. So it's been great to have a fresh new take on some of the more current things. So where I kind of went the dance avenue. I didn't, I think the last time I cheered was maybe the year 2000. So, she's definitely a more, current approach. She's got the new stunts and the new gymnastics, and where I have the choreography and the dance ability. Together we really make a perfect team, but yeah, I just what was your question again?
I think we'll know the answer because I see you at the basketball games, we see you at the football games, because Charlie reminded we had you on the one of the broadcasts for the football games to talk about that.
Right. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And the football season basketball season are pretty much equal in length and equal in importance. So yeah, we did compete this year in a game day style competition down in Massachusetts, which was exciting. We came in 3rd place at 1, so that was awesome. And that's something I think will continue as years move forward, because it's a nice type of competition. At the varsity level up here in New Hampshire, the cheerleaders that are on these varsity teams are cheering when they're 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. And right now, we get them in high school, and some of them have never cheered before, so to compete at that level where we don't have the feeder programs, we're kind of at a disadvantage. We're not really at an equal playing field. So this game day approach, which is this new style competition, it's kind of what you would see at a football game. We get to do band dances and cheers, and, it's not at that level. And, we still get graded on the same point scales that we get, precision and smiles and spirit and enthusiasm. And it's been great because the girls feel like they have that level playing field and are able to compete.
That's awesome. Because I'm with you on that, because you watch ESPN, you watch those cheering competitions on ESPN, and it's like a Broadway show. It's like a Broadway dance. People are flying through the air, and there's and you don't see that at a football game as your typical, especially New Hampshire, your football games.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think they created too to kind of bring it back to the basics, bring it back to where it all started, which everybody can appreciate and love, Right.
Nice.
Well, Christy, you mentioned a feeder program. I think there might be a feeder program.
There is. Yeah. So that just started 2 years ago, and that was fun. I actually went around to all the lunches at the middle school with kind of a petition, you could say, to say, would anybody sign up for cheer if we started a program? And I think 30 girls signed up that first year. Monica Mosca ran it the first year, and Elizabeth Cody ran it this past year. Another, one of my cheerleaders and one of my dancers, and now one of my instructors at Expression. So yeah, we're all kind of intertwined. But yeah, it's awesome. Now there's a middle school cheer team. So when they get to us in high school, they've had 2 years, of background knowledge, which is awesome.
Right.
And the cheer team is pretty serious. You guys have tryouts and cut. Is that correct?
We do, yeah. And actually, I don't think they had tryouts and cuts before the first year I came on in 2015. So that was a little bit of a shakeup for sure. But they have to take it seriously like every other team.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome. Let's talk about expressions.
Yes.
So obviously, Emma, who's going to come on in a little while, was there from I think she was there from the beginning. I think she was right?
She was there from my very first year. I'll never forget.
Why don't you talk a little bit about Expressions, your dance company, and how that came to be?
Yeah, so I moved here, I think, to Wolfeboro in 2003, and I taught at a couple different dance studios out of town because I didn't want that conflict of interest when I was ready to open my own, but I wasn't quite ready to open my own. I was still kind of young at the time when I moved here. Became a part of the Wolfeboro Area Creative Arts Center, which was awesome, and later on opened Expressions Dance Academy from there. We're into our 16th year already, which is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So this whole journey has been exciting. I've seen and met so many of the community members, been able to be a part of so many people's lives. I go everywhere and know someone, and I love it. And I'd say, you know, right now with everything going on, you know, in the world, I've never been more proud of my dance studio. The parents have completely embraced the technology that has come along with me trying to run the business from my home. Here's my makeshift dance studio here. And it's been great to watch the kids have an outlet through all these times. The parents have cleaned out living rooms so the kids can have places to dance, purchase ballet bars, and it's given them a sense of normalcy through all of this, you know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. What about, we were going to ask you how you're dealing with COVID and how that's
we're running our complete dance schedule. We're running all our regularly class scheduled times. They start and finish on Google Meet like we're doing here, and we're able to, you know, warm them up, kind of go across the floor, I guess you could say, as best we can, and work on their dance routines. And this week we started our finale, which we hope we get to do at some point, and it was cute.
Fingers crossed.
Dance. Fingers crossed. Yep.
How about competitions? Are competitions happening this spring at all?
You know, the one we were attending was, I think, May 15th and 16th. So that's coming up shortly. I don't, you know, the company is saying that they're all being held after May 1st, but I don't really see how that's possible. And I don't know how the dancers would even be ready, you know, so, and schools are closed. I'm waiting for the official, you know, it's canceled. And the dancers are prepared for that, you know.
You know, something you had said that I think it applies to a lot of things that we've seen, especially in the school system, is that all this has brought the best out in our students and our parents, and, you know, working together and in the community, and you know, just it's good. And you said at the beginning, we're very fortunate to live in this area right now.
So feel very lucky. Yep.
Charlie?
No, it's great. I always wanted to hear your story about expression. So I'll ask a couple more personal questions. So you said Massachusetts. Where did you come from in Massachusetts?
Rainham, Massachusetts.
Okay, all right. I'm a North Shore guy. I was Peabody. So
okay,
So so I obviously my daughter danced for you way back when she was little, and you had moved from your old location. Now you have a new location. So tell us a little bit about the new location. I mean, I drive by it all the time.
Our new location is my dream location. Not vacation. I think I'm dreaming of vacations, as we all are. It's, you know, living in this town, you know, there's a lot of old buildings, there's a lot of support beams, there's a lot of no parking. So, you know, finding that perfect spot was hard. And I kept, you know, hemming and hawing, oh, we need something bigger for the dancers. And our old location on Varney Road, I think our waiting room was, you know, 10 feet by 10 feet. The dancers were constantly losing their shoes. I mean, you couldn't keep the mud out of the studio. It was so tight. And now the dance studio is over 2,000 square feet.
Wow.
You know, got two huge, you know, two big spacious rooms. I have a back office, a large waiting room. You know, we've got, you know, a kitchen table in there and benches and flat screen TVs playing, you know, videos for the kids. And we even have a dancer's lounge in the back where we have homework stations set up and beanbag chairs for the kids to hang out between classes. And it's really a dream spot, you know. Yeah, nice. Feel very lucky.
You guys have a store in there too as well, right? You have a dance store?
Yes, that's right. Of course. Yeah, we have Wolfeboro dancewear in there. So we have a whole dance store where the kids can get all their dancewear needs.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Chrissy, thank you. Unless you have something else, Charlie?
No, that was great.
Thank you for coming on. We've been meaning to, you know, to have you come on. And so this has actually created some opportunities for us to have some people that we've been meaning to have come on. And because schedules are a little bit more wide open.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't have any problem getting on coaches right now because they're all sitting home.
We're home.
Doing what we're doing. So thank you. Congratulations on everything, on the cheer team, the success of that, and Expressions Dance Studio. And a personal thank you because Emma's, like I said, Emma's going to come on in a couple minutes, and she's going to talk about how dance, and then she had continued into college, you know, and dance. And that was a huge part of her life, and I'm very thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I adore her.
Stay safe, and
Thank
we'll try
you.
to have you on next year too. But hopefully
That
not.
would be great.
Maybe you can come into the
Right,
studio.
maybe we can actually be in person, right?
That sounds great.
Thank
All
you
right.
for thinking of me.
Yeah, thanks.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We're still undefeated.
We are. That was great. Nice interview. It was great to hear about dance, to hear about cheer, spirit team, and then her business expressions academy. So that was awesome.
So I don't know if my daughter's listening. I'm hoping that she is, and she's going to pop in here and just
Yeah.
briefly talk about how transferring into, from dance. And she was actually on the cheer team also. She was one of her senior year was the first year, I believe, of the cheer team.
She's on her way. There she is.
My daughter, Emma.
Yeah.
And Emma, like I said, you were on the cheer team.
Yep.
And you also danced at Expressions. And then you took that, and I want you to talk about how Expressions led into dancing at college.
Well, I danced at Expressions for about 12 years. I've been doing it ever since I was a little kid. And so when I graduated, I really didn't want to stop dancing. But I wanted to focus on my schoolwork and all that in college. So I joined a dance team in college. And it isn't the main UNH dance team. It's just like a side dance team. And it's called Sisters in Step. And it's mostly hip hop. And we just practice throughout the year and we create dances. And it's such a fun group of girls that we just hang out, and we all have the same interests in dance. And at the end of the semester, we perform all the dances we've been working on. It's really fun.
And I will say it is a much different experience than you would see at the local dance studios and stuff like that, because the college kids run these things. And so you go there and you go to the recitals and everything's prim and proper and as it's supposed to be. You go to this thing, and people are hooting and hollering and dropping F-bombs, and it's really there's a wild scene at these dance things. So it is really cool, but it catches you by surprise the first time.
Yeah.
How about cheering him? Were you on the first year of cheer?
Yeah. So when Chrissy came into the coaching for cheering, I was a senior, and I joined the team on a whim, basically, and we actually went to a competition, our first competition that year, and it was super fun. It was definitely a new experience for all of us because I had never cheered before, but I had experience in dancing. And I just remember we were doing a lot of like dance moves at the competition, and they were like, oh, it's not very cheer-like, but it was fun doing it. And yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool. Well, Emma, you've heard this before, and maybe Mike, you've heard this too. So although I never attended one of your competitions, at UNH. I saw many of your competitions, obviously, on video. The connection is my nephew, Jake Ducharme. His girlfriend is Sammy Lynch, and Sammy danced with you at UNH. So I'm able to see some of the performances. So I wish I had been. I was never invited by your father, Emma. So I apologize that I wasn't there for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I know that you're graduating. So any plans? Is there a way to continue dance in the future?
I could teach dance maybe. We didn't get to do our spring show, which was like my senior send off, so I'm pretty sad about that.
Right.
And I was a captain, so I didn't get to finish the whole captainship on the team.
Yeah.
But hopefully someday I'll get to. My boyfriend makes fun of me. He's like, I mean, you don't have to stop dancing just because you're not dancing for a team. But I hope I can still dance.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was kind of asking. I didn't know if there are other opportunities. Like, if you golf, you can golf for the rest of your life, or play tennis the rest of your life. So I didn't know if you could dance other than teaching.
I think they have adult dance classes. So maybe I can look into that. I don't really know where I'll end up after this. So hopefully where I am, they have adult dance classes.
Right on.
All right. Good.
Thank
you, Em. So, it was actually nice to have her on there because I wanted that connection to college. A lot of people think that dance ends at the end of, for those that dance through until high school ends their senior year, that's all over. But
it doesn't.
There's a lot of opportunities. And when she did the Sisters in Step, there was a tryout, and very nervous about whether she was going to make this thing. There's a lot of people that like to dance.
Yeah,
there's a lot. So
I am not one of them. So
come on. All right. So we're gonna get we have as we said earlier, we have a caller coming in.
We do in a few minutes.
Before we got about 10 minutes to talk about the NFL draft.
Okay.
And I guess we're going to be Patriot centric for a little while because a lot has happened to the Patriots over the last 3 months. They're not your Patriots team of the last 20 years, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple questions for you. Are the Patriots in a rebuilding mode right now, or retooling mode, or are they keeping the motor running and they're still planning on competing and winning?
I don't think there's such a thing as a rebuilding mode for New England. I think they've got the pedal to the floor. I still have the utmost trust in Bill, and I think he's made the right decisions. I don't want to talk about those decisions right now, but because we're going to talk about them with Mr. Davidson. But I think they're in a position to continue to win. They expect to win. And as I said last week and probably the week before, they should be, I project them winning at least 10 games, if not more, because they have a system. It appears that they have a quarterback that they like a lot. Bill has said some nice things about him. They have Brian Hoyer, who already knows the system. They could potentially draft for a quarterback. And they have a defense that's coming back that's still pretty good. So my expectation is that it's not a rebuilding year.
My expectations is not a rebuilding year. Retooling year, maybe. Belichick likes to change the identity of the team based on the personnel that's there.
Right.
And we've seen them win throwing the ball all over the place. We've seen them win just ground and pound. I don't know what they're going to look like as far as that goes this year. So I think that we're going to know a lot over the next 5-6 months about the direction that they're going. Do they draft 2 wide receivers tomorrow night, or over the next few days? Or do they draft just tight ends and big fatties that want to block?
Yeah.
Are they going to draft O-linemen at the top of the draft? I think it's really interesting, and that's what's really cool about the NFL, because there are such distinct position groups.
Yeah.
That you can identify where a team is going in the direction they're going through the draft.
Right.
By how they're allocating their money, how they're allocating their draft capital. And I think this is going to be probably one of the most exciting drafts for the Patriots. It doesn't seem like they're going after a quarterback.
Right.
It seems that they're pretty happy with what they got. Maybe in a later round they might do something, just as take a shot on somebody, like a Stidham. Stidham was a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think all signs point to Stidham's going to be the guy, and I hope he is.
So do
unless that they can, a few things fall their way and they could pick up one of the top 2 or 3 guys,
right.
Like a Tua, or I know they're not going to get the Burrows kid. That's going to be way too much to get him. But Tua, there's talk that he could fall.
Yeah, they're talking about that. So.
But I'll ask you a question: would you rather have Tua, who has a larger upside, but he has nothing to do with the Patriot system, or would you rather Stidham, who there's little secrets, not secrets, but whispering going on that he's really good in the system, in the Pat system?
I'm a system guy, so I don't think they need to go after Tua, and plus you have to also consider the money. Patriots don't have a lot of money right now.
No, they don't. They don't have much money at all, which we're going to end up talking about when he calls in. Hopefully he calls in on that whole thing, because there was a lot of money implications that were involved with that, and that's going to be pretty interesting. I am a Stidham guy at this point, and the best thing the part that I like the most about it is everybody's last memory of Stidham.
His interception.
The pick six.
Yeah.
Yes. Pick six. And I think that's why there's such a large group that is saying no Stidham, no Stidham. But geez, Brady's last throw was a pick six also.
Oh, I know. I
You
mean,
know, but that's not what you remember him by.
Those things, Mike, I have to say, give me a break. I mean, the best quarterbacks, the greatest of all time, right? Tom Brady threw a pick six. I mean, come on. It happens, all right? He read it. He didn't see the coverage. It's a pick six. Stuff happens.
It's his first NFL game action. He's nervous as could be.
Absolutely.
But if you like the McCourties have been very vocal about Stidham and what they see in practice, and he says he tears them up in practice.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that. That's what you need to do. I mean, when he was playing against that Patriots first defense, the boogeyman for at least the first 8 games, and I mean, Devin definitely is a phenomenal player, and obviously Jason is too. But I mean, if Devin McCourty is saying high praise and that Stidham is picking him apart, I'm like, oh my gosh. This guy is because McCourty's at the top of the league as far as coverage.
And McCourty was saying that when Brady was still around. He wasn't saying that after Brady left.
Right.
He was saying that when Brady was still around. So I don't think it was just window dressing, as far as, him saying stuff like that. I think he meant it. And I just there's a really large part of me that's excited about what the Patriots are going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
There's some unknown. There's unknown. And we, for the last 20 years, have been pretty knowledgeable of what they're going to look like. They're going to be 12-4, and they're going to make it to the AFC championship game, and then they might win a Super Bowl half the time.
Yeah. But I'm excited. This is an exciting time. I couldn't be happier from what has happened in the past 24 hours. I'm gonna cheer for the Buccaneers. I'm gonna watch them. So I don't have a problem with it. They're NFC. I don't care. So there's no reason why I'm not gonna wish success. I know that you're grumpy. I know your grumpiness because I see your tweets. Not everybody gets to see all your tweets.
They can. It's at Michael Danais, or you can go at Mike in the Hoss because all those tweets.
Yeah.
So I don't Grumpy's. So I'm going to break the news because he's going to call in a second. So Gronk was traded yesterday. Today is, we air on Friday, so it's old news by the time Friday comes out. But Gronk was traded yesterday to the Buccaneers. Mm-hmm. And as we know, Gronk retired the previous year, and he was owed about $11 million. To come back to $11 million. Yeah. And so he had always said he only wants to play with Brady. And he came. So basically what he did is he held the Patriots hostage, and he said, I'm going to come out of retirement and put you in capped jail, because they would have had to clear $11 million or at least $9 million off their payroll if he came out.
Right.
And so I'm just looking at this, at the punishment for the Red Sox just came out.
Oh boy.
Some really breaking news here. So anyway, while this is coming up, so Pats had no choice. And so they traded him and a 7th for a 4th. And so Gronk basically leveraged his way out of town. Mm-hmm. Now, Bill doesn't like it when the players have leverage like that. You seem to be okay with it.
Well, I'm okay with it. There's no way that Rob Gronkowski was going to play for the Patriots.
Aren't you bitter about what last year we talked to him? We talked about him every single week about him coming back November, Thanksgiving. What's your over under?
Right.
All year long.
We did exactly what we wanted us to do.
Isn't there a little bit of bitterness?
No. I guess no. I'm not bitter because I have really good feelings, good thoughts about who he was as a player and what he brought New England. And I don't want to pay him if I'm New England. Couldn't pay him anyway. And he wants to play again. That's fine. And he wants to play with Tom Brady. So let him go. We got a 4th-round pick out of this.
Yes. It's better than nothing. I guess.
Better than nothing. Nothing would have been nothing. Yeah.
From a Patriots perspective, I'm okay with it. This gives me less reason to root for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This gives me less reason because I don't want to see him Gronk spiking, partying up, and the Gronk bus rolling into town and all that other kind of hoopla that's there. Because really, the only reason he's there is because WWE is probably not cutting out like he thought he was going to be. So
Or the
We have
map.
a caller. We have a caller right now.
All right.
Hey, welcome to Mike and the Hoss.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Finally, we have some sports to talk about, huh?
I know. It's great. It's great.
So this is Brian probably on his couch. He's not Brian in the car. He's probably Brian on his couch at this point.
Right.
We are in the middle of our Gronk talk right now.
Perfect.
And Charlie and I are on opposite sides. So let's just go right to you on this. How are you feeling about the Gronk trade?
To tell you the truth, I'm really excited to see him back play. That's number one. I think it'll be good for the NFL. And I'm psyched to see him play. And I hope he doesn't get hurt like some people I know.
So
Some people like Dan Shaughnessy have the idea that he's kind of messed up with the Patriots.
well, and those other first-rate reporters, you never know what they're thinking. But so
Gary Tangway.
don't lump me into those groups. So what I was in the middle of saying when you called in that I'm a little bitter about what he did for the Patriots. Not necessarily, I like Gronk as a player, but I think the Patriots did more for Gronk than Gronk did for the Patriots as far as building that profile. And
He won 3 Super Bowls?
yeah, but he did. But they won without him, and in Seattle. They didn't have him in Seattle when they won in Seattle. They learned to win without him. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate Gronk. I am not saying that at all. I think that he held the Patriots hostage down the stretch here with I'm going to retire, I'm not going to retire. If we go back a couple years right before he retired, they were going to pick up Jared Cook out of on free agency for a tight end, but they couldn't because they were waiting on Gronk's decision on retirement. So I think he did leave kind of a trail of destruction, for lack of a better word. And
Have you seen Gronk's presser today?
No, I missed it.
He basically said that he had to retire to avoid getting traded to Detroit.
Well,
they were going to trade him, so he retired. And plus, you can't deny that his body was all banged up.
No, I don't deny that. And so here's a question for you. He's apparently lost a lot of weight. I mean, we saw pictures of him last summer, and he's on the TB12, which is not a muscle building thing. Is he going to be the same Gronk in Tampa as he was in New England?
He's not going to have to carry the load like he did in New England. He's going to be that big play, key play. I love their, tight end situation there now, barring any trades coming up here in the next couple days.
Well,
but Gronk won't have to do a lot of the heavy blocking, heavy lifting. They've got 2 solid tight ends already.
I wish that the Pats would have picked up one of them. I was really hoping that O.J. Howard was going to come our way. He's young, he's big, he's fast, he catches the ball.
I don't think it's too late for him. I think there might even be talk about it.
Well, that would make me happier about that whole thing. I have some just bitterness towards Gronk.
I can understand where you're coming from, but are you going to have bitterness when Edelman goes?
If he forces his way out of town, yes.
So Brian, this is Charlie. So Mike is very bitter. So I think we agree, Brian, because I'm okay. Obviously Gronk didn't play last year. There's that talk about, which I don't believe, did Brady tell him not to play? But then you brought up the information that he decided not to play so he wouldn't get traded to Detroit. I think Gronkowski is still one of my favorite players. He's going to Tampa. I'm gonna cheer for him. I'm gonna cheer for Brady. And I think the Patriots actually made out in this whole thing because Gronk was not going to play for New England this year, and we ended up with a 4th-round pick.
Agree with you, Charlie. That's exactly what I was going to say. They got a 4th-round pick for a retired guy.
Yeah.
I just don't like that what he did for the Patriots over the past year and a half or so, and I have some bitterness towards him. I'm also a little sour on Brady on how he was a sourpuss all year long this past year, and I think that it kind of tarnished his New England thing. Not a lot. I'm still a Brady fan and a Brady honker, and he's the greatest of all time, and I have no problem saying that. But I think that there's a little bit of a chip in the armor the being such a sourpuss all year long in the press conferences. I'm the most unhappiest 8-0 quarterback. I mean, I think that their team could have been a lot better this past year, and I know that they were okay, but I think they could have been a lot better if they would have had an engaged Brady into the mix.
Maybe, but you know, as a faculty basketball player, you can understand like passive people that keep throwing the ball up and missing, right? You're not going to stop passing to them after a while.
I don't
level, but the competition's still there.
I always passed you the ball, no matter if you were making it or missing it. So I don't
I'm
think
not referring to me.
Okay.
No, I can agree with you with your frustration with Brady, but I'm excited for the new start. I'm excited for the Pats and see what Stidham can do and how they come through this draft. I mean, I'm going to be really concerned if they draft a quarterback in the second round.
Well, that's the first time that we're agreeing right now, because I'm really excited about Stidham. I'm excited about the new look Patriots. I'm not exactly excited about their new uniforms, but I'm excited about the new, the new look Patriots as far as and the unknown. We were just talking before that every year we knew basically what they were going to be. Their style might have changed a little bit, but they were going to be Brady centric, and it was going to be Belichick is going to coach them up, and they're going to win 12 games and make it to the AFC Championship game. It was pretty much set in stone that that's going to happen. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of experts that are predicting 6-10 out of this team. Yeah,
I think they'll do better than that, and I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for Tampa in their division either.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let me ask you a question. If the Patriots, let's say the Patriots end 11-5, 12-4, their typical thing, and Tampa misses the playoffs with their stacked lineup, because on paper Tampa's pretty good.
Yes.
How does that affect? I mean, I guess I know the answer. I kind of set that up, but affect the legacies of the two, Bill and Brady.
Well, you kind of set up the scenario, but I like the scenario better where the Pats are going to, maybe win 8 or 9 games, and Tampa's going to win 12 or 13 games, and the legacy is going to be, swayed towards Brady a little bit.
But is it though? Because everybody knows that right now the offensive weapons for the Patriots is not that great, or the weapons anywhere are not that great comparably, and that Tampa's loaded. And so if put it this way, if pick a quarterback that's okay, Andrew Luck. Let's say Andrew Luck came out of retirement and he went to Tampa. Does he do better than Brady or worse than Brady in the Tampa situation right now?
That's a good question.
So I
think it's the unknown.
Well, I'm thinking that there's a lot more on Brady than we're giving credit for, because he's got wide receivers coming out of every direction. He's got a running back. He's got an offensive line. He's got 2 tight ends now, one being his binky. And
the pressure's definitely on him.
Totally. It's totally
how
on him.
has he responded to pressure in the past? He's the man.
Yeah. Yes, and he certainly has played well when he has had the weapons.
So I'm excited about seeing them. Seeing them play. Maybe we can get a road trip down to Tampa in the fall.
Brian, I got a question, and Mike. What happens the first time that Tom Brady or Rob Gronkowski disagree with Bruce Arians? How does that play out? Because there isn't a relationship yet.
I think they're gonna. That's a good question, Charlie. But I think those guys are team players, and they will respect the authority.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to disagree with you. I think they are the authority on that team this year. I think
that's what it's looking like right now. But
yeah, I think that's the whole reason why they went there, because they were just getting out of the hand of Belichick, and Arians has basically said that the offense is going to run through Brady, and what they do on Sundays is going to be up to Tom and how he's feeling. So I think that looking at this whole thing, I think Brady has a lot more to lose than Belichick, because if Belichick does anything above 8-8, it's going to be considered a great coaching season. If Brady does anything, above 8-8, it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be because they're stacked. And I think that there's more for Belichick to gain out of this season, this whole thing, than there is for Brady at this point. You almost don't want.
I can kind of see that. But there's no given that, like I said, that division that he's in is not an easy division.
No, not at all.
They don't play an easy schedule.
No.
And Brady is going to be 43. So, but
yeah.
I'm psyched about the move. I just want to see them back together again and watch them play football.
Do you think? Do you think Edelman will end up down there?
Boy, remember? Didn't I text you that?
Yes.
Right off once we heard Gronk was going down there.
Yes, you did. So
now, I don't like the LeBron James theory of super team building, and this has a little smell of that if Edelman goes there.
Well, I'm gonna be devil's advocate on this one too. Is that I don't think that Tampa's gonna want Edelman because right now they've got 2 A+ receivers in Godfrey and Evans, and now they brought in an A+ tight end. Mm-hmm. And so you bring in another Binky where Edelman's going to see 8 to 10 balls a game. There's only so many balls to throw around. And that could really disrupt the apple cart if you bring in all Brady's guys where they're 2 guys that have been there for a little while who that might be more of a problem than it's worth for them to bring Edelman in. I would also like
you refer to Hall of Fame receivers as Binkies. He would fit right in the slot receiver with Brady.
So you're down there, you're Mike Evans, you're an all-pro receiver. And
that's going to be a problem.
And 3 balls go to you all game long. 8 balls go to Edelman. 12 balls go to Gronk. And, how is that going to –
making that up.
What?
You're making that up.
I'm just saying that. Listen, we've seen Brady over the years where it used to be he throws to the open receiver, but over the last 6 or 7 years, he throws to Gronk and Edelman. We've seen that's – when I say Binky, I mean it. He likes to throw to those guys. And
that's because they got good separation and they're talented receivers. I mean,
because they were open.
What?
More weapons.
Yeah.
More weapons. All right. More weapons.
Hey, the penalty came down for the Red Sox today. Did you hear?
Well, I just started to read it, but literally while we're on the show, can you give us a brief synopsis of what was the penalty?
It was pretty minor, really. They lost a second-round draft pick. The cameraman, he's banned from baseball for a year, and then can't do the cameraman stuff for 2021. And Cora is banned for next year, not with anything to do with the Red Sox, just his involvement with Texas.
Next year, as in this current baseball season, or the next baseball season?
I guess it would. I know it's hard to figure out, right? I think it would be this current baseball season. Because so there was talk about Cora 221 back to the Sox, but I don't think that'll happen. Well,
Renicky, right? We haven't talked about him for a while. He still has that interim label on him, right. So I think it's a possibility. Brian, we got to let you go. Thank you for calling in, and we appreciate your thoughts.
Great, Mike, Charlie. You guys have a good day and be safe.
All right, take care.
Talk to you.
Take care, buddy. Oh boy, it's always nice to have a fan, especially one that we think alike.
He is a fan. He loves talking about it. So
it's great. It's great. I love Brian Davidson. So thanks, Brian.
All right. We got to wrap things up. I want to thank our sponsors. So we're going to start with Skelly's Market,
Morrissey's Porch and Pub,
and Downtown Grill and Cafe. Thank you guys very much.
And of course, thanks to our producer, Timothy Goodwin.
Absolutely. And everybody at Wolfeboro Community Television who puts this thing on.
Behind the scenes.
And maybe at some point we can get back in the studio. But this has been interesting. I think next week we have some ideas for guests next week. And kind of keep the entertainment going in Wolfeboro. So stay safe, everybody, and go Knights.
Go Knights.